We were just getting ready to take down the Christmas tree, and we noticed this interesting phenomenon that we've never seen on an indoor Christmas tree before. The indoor Christmas tree that we have here is growing spruce tips. This is a spruce tree, obviously. We've never had spruce, we usually have pine. And it's growing indoors, new growth, like it's spring. Super interesting. But we thought it was super interesting to see how it's growing indoors.
So, in most cases, your Christmas tree is dying.
Yeah.
By a week after New Year's, the needles are falling off, and in this case, it thinks it's spring and it's growing. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, look at this. It's got like the little cap on it. Like it thinks it's spring. It's so weird.
Crazy. Never seen it before. So we're gonna harvest our Christmas tree.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good if I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't. Just taking off these little brown caps. I don't know what they are, but they're like little dead, not dead, but it's like it protects the tip of the spruce, while it's growing. And then eventually it falls off, I think. So I have the spruce tips that I pulled off of the Christmas tree. And I'm going to attempt to make spruce tip syrup. I don't remember if I just put water in there and then boil it down, or if I add sugar. So I'm going to have to look it up and see. But that's my plan. I don't have that many of them. I just have this little bowl. But I got rid of all these little brown caps that were like on the tip of the tips, I guess. But I didn't think I wanted brown, dead looking things in my syrup. So I found a couple of different recipes, but basically it's like 1 part spruce tips to half a part water and a half part sugar. So it calls for 2 cups of spruce tips. I've only got about 1.5 cups. So I'll do the spruce tips and then maybe 3/4 of a cup of water and 3/4 of a cup of sugar. So I'm going to use organic cane sugar. Could probably use regular sugar, but this is what the recipe calls for, and it's probably what I would prefer anyway. And we'll do, that's a 1/2 cup and 1/4 cup. So there's 3/4, and then there's 3/4 of a cup of water. I can smell gas. I don't want it to explode in my face. There we go. All right. We'll let that come to a boil.
Boil around the edges.
Yeah. And you're supposed to bring it to a boil and then let it cool for 6 to 8 hours. It's already almost 4, well, it is 4 o'clock. So I'm going to just let it cool overnight and then finish it tomorrow. And then we'll pick it up there. But you let it cool and then you strain it and squeeze out all the liquid, and you return the liquid to a boil and let it thicken after, get it to the consistency that you want. So I don't think you really get the thickness until you reboil it after you strain it, though. This would be a good trial to figure out if I want to go spruce tip hunting in the spring. I would call that a boil. All right, well, I'm going to let that cool off. And since it's already 4 o'clock, I'm just going to let this sit until tomorrow morning, and then I'll strain it and then do my boil and let it thicken up tomorrow. Do my second boil after I've strained it and let it thicken up, and then we'll see what it tastes like. I have no idea. Well, I'm back. It's the next morning, and I'm going to finish up my spruce tip syrup, I think. I'm going to take a look and see. So it's been cool. I let it cool overnight because I didn't feel like staying up till midnight. And let's see what it looks like here. This is what my spruce tips look like sitting overnight. Just looks like it's been sitting overnight. So I'm going to take it over to where I've got some cheesecloth in a strainer right here, and I am going to strain it into the cheesecloth, and then I'm going to squeeze it all out so that I get the liquid out and no spruce tip bits. And then I'm going to pour it back into the pan so I can re-boil it. All right, so I'll take my cheesecloth here. I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's how you learn, right? And I'm just going to squeeze it out. This kind of reminds me of how I made the fireweed jelly when I had the flowers. It's a little thicker than I expected, but it's certainly not as thick as I would want it for syrup. So that's why we're going to reboil it and then simmer it down to get that thickness that we want for syrup. That's about as much as I can squeeze out, I think. Yep, that's about it. All right. So let's dump that in there. There we go. All right. Put that over there. And we'll dump this back in there. So you can see it's not super watery, but it's not thick like syrup, and it's supposed to be thick like syrup. So we got to do it manually. All right. We're going to let that come to a boil, and it says boil for 20 minutes. So we'll come back when that's boiling. I should probably reread the instructions. I don't think you're supposed to boil it for 20 minutes. You're probably supposed to boil it and then let it simmer. Let me check. Cook on medium-low for 20 minutes. See? That's why you check. Keep watching the syrup until you have the desired color and consistency. The darker it is, the thicker it will be. Okay. Well, it has been 20 minutes, and it's looking pretty thick, I would say. The color's gotten darker, a little more golden, I would say. A little more golden, and I just turned it off, but it's pretty thick looking. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into my jar. That'll probably help. Alright, here we go. And there is not very much because we only made a half a batch. Remember, we just harvested the spruce tips off of our Christmas tree that was growing in the house. And as you can see, it did get pretty thick. That's coming off the pot there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's pretty thick when it starts to cool. So I think we got a pretty good syrupy consistency. Hopefully I don't burn myself by tasting it here. But I'm going to taste it. And we'll see what spruce tip syrup tastes like, because I have no idea. I would imagine it tastes like spruce, but I don't know what spruce tastes like. I've never eaten a spruce tree. I don't want to burn myself. It's actually a really light, and you can taste the sugar in it for sure, but I would say it tastes like a really light, I don't even know how to describe it. It's definitely not any other syrup that I've ever tasted before, but it's got a real light flavor to it. You could probably put it on pretty much anything and enjoy it. I would probably enjoy it over pancakes for sure. Hey Brian,
Yeah.
you want to come taste this? Yeah, I enjoy this. I would probably go harvest some spruce tips for this. It's got a real nice golden color. If I had enough, I would certainly do a larger batch and can them up and do it in my food storage. It's a really light flavor, huh?
Yeah, and it's sweet.
Yeah, you can taste the sugar, but it's not really, I don't taste like a real bold, piney. Like I was expecting something, I guess kind of like real oaky or earthy, but I don't really taste that.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's just a real light flavor, but I don't really know how to describe it.
Well, I just wonder if you just made sugary water, would it taste the same?
I know, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know.
It tastes like syrup.
Yeah, it tastes like syrup.
Oh, it's got a little bit of a
Aftertaste.
pine.
Little piney aftertaste.
Yeah.
It takes a minute
A
though.
little bit, yeah. Now it comes on. You get a little bit of that. I wonder if it's just the different sensors on your tongue that taste the different things.
Oh yeah, the different zones. It has
Right,
to
so you're
hit.
getting sweet for one, but that pine might be a different.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a very light flavored syrup that you could probably use for pretty much anything you didn't want it to overpower.
Look, can you taste the maple in maple syrup? Or do you just taste the sweet?
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Yeah, I get an aftertaste. It comes on afterwards.
Yeah.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd probably make it again if I went out and harvested some spruce tips in the spring. But since we had them to try, it was worth giving it a shot. So that's my little foray. But I'm going to let that cool before I put a lid on it. And thanks for watching me experiment. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I probably did some steps wrong, but I don't know. Came out good. That's my little foray into spruce tip syrup.
Hey, we thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate you choosing to spend your time with us. We cut this little one a little short, but we've got a snow machine adventure on the way in the next day or so. We'll see you soon. Thank you again.